And we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Elemental Essentials with your hosts, Karen and Jess. This is the series where you will find help that you need to connect to your earth based practice. We're going to go through tons of topics. We've already covered opening circle and the basic principles, so check those out on the YouTube channel, either on my YouTube channel, Karen Lowe Inspirations, or Jess's YouTube channel with her business partner, Crab and Moon. We're going to talk about other things like the elements, gods and goddesses, myths and legends, rituals, all kinds of different things for you guys. But today, we are talking about grounding and shielding. This is super important topic because you want to make sure that you are grounded and you are shielding yourself. Being grounded before you do any type of ritual is going to be super important, so your mind's not like crazy wondering, the intentions don't get like mixed up in any way, and you actually do the work properly. Don't want things to go awry. And then shielding yourself is good for protection every day. So we touched on protection a little bit in the last video, but that was more of protecting you from any negative entities or anything like that, trying to influence the ritual that you're doing after you've opened circle. Today we're going to talk about day-to-day life, shielding yourself before you go out into the public, because especially if you're a person that feels exhausted after being out in public, you will need this. This will be important for you. With that, I'm going to hand it off to Jess and let her speak about why she grounds and shields.
Well, I would definitely say this is like part 2 to our last video, because all of the information can be integrated and used together. But exactly what you said, you got to be mindful in your day-to-day. So grounding is super important for anybody and everybody. It's rooting yourself to Gaia, to that earth energy, keeping you here, right? A lot of us who are psychic or even just super intuitive people, whether or not they use their abilities or are aware of them, they're all up in their head, like in their crown chakra. I just put this up here so we have a reference chart, okay? So when you're always up here in your crown and your third eye, you can experience things like headaches, dizziness, even just mood swings as well. They don't just come from the lower chakras. So to avoid this, it's keeping that energy balanced within your system, if not rooted in your root and earth star chakras. And we have videos coming for all of these things, but just to give you a place of reference, your earth star chakra is below. The root chakra is this red color at the bottom here, okay? It's below that. And it is, I'd say, about 8 to 12 inches, maybe a foot below your feet. So that anchors you right to Gaia. So to activate that, you simply visualize it, use your intention. We know that. If you can't see it, you can just will it be, right? Yeah. And that keeps you calm. It keeps you more level. I don't like using the word calm because I don't know why. I don't like it. Grounded leaves room for both, like the ups and downs. Because when you're grounded, you can deal with all of that. Shielding is another topic I like to talk about, especially with empaths. Something I definitely encourage is not blocking out everything. Yes. You don't get to use your gifts that way. It's creating a shield of discernment. Ooh, I like that. I just pulled that one out. Right? A shield of discernment. So it's kind of like working with an emerald. So you're able to discern what shit's yours, what shit's not, what you can work with, and what you just need to like keep over there. You know? And your shield can look different. Everyone's shield can look different. It can be a different color, it can be a different shape. But to start off, I like using the egg, right? Like the white egg around you of protection. If you want to get a little bit more fancy, you can use some sacred geometry, like a Merkaba, which is something we mentioned in the last episode, I believe. you can get creative with it. Make it your own little spaceship is what I like to refer to it as, right? So,
and don't worry, we are going to go over some simplistic ways to ground and shield, and then we're going to also give you a couple examples of, a little more intricate and, fancy, if you will, ways to do these things. But again, and I'm pretty sure we're going to say this like every single video, it is whatever feels right to you. Don't, you can start with our stuff if you're just starting out and you just really don't know. Start doing that. And then when that doesn't quite feel right, start throwing in something else, figuring out a different way to do it. That's why we're giving you all these different examples. So that way you can move from one to the other. You can mix them together. You can be like, okay, well, that sounds kind of good, but I would rather have it this way. And you can create your own. That is the point. We are giving you the information, we are giving you examples of the information, and then it is up to you to feel it out and see what works right for you, and then go with that.
Amen. Yes, take us to church, Karen.
Amen. I'm pretty sure we're going to say that like every video. I'm going to mention that.
Well, we're here to help our audience create their practice, not copy yours or copy mine or copy whomever, or we're here to integrate and create and just be witchy with it. So as Karen mentioned, we're going to give you practical steps. So we're going to go over how to ground, how to shield. We'll go over the cancel, clear, delete again, so we can just do that auric house cleaning. Can't even speak. We're going to run through a quick and dirty meditation just to get us grounded, something you can pull out anytime, anywhere. And I also have another prayer called Columns of Light. So that's another one that you can invoke for protection as well. So we're gonna cover it all today. We're gonna cover it all.
So I'm gonna deal with the simplistic ones that I do, or I used to do when I first started out, and then we're gonna give it to Jess to take away the little more intricate ones. Before we do that, I'm going to get a card for today. So I got my new deck. Healing mantras.
Finally.
So finally, a month and a half later. So I figured, what better day to draw a healing mantra card than on Grounding and Shielding Day? So we drew the card, Greeting Wellness. These are super simplistic cards. They're not over the top. They don't have a crazy ton of designs on them. They're just simple. And then on the back,
they're super grounding.
Yes.
I love
it. Then on the back, it actually gives you a mantra to say. So the mantra with today's card is balance is the key to a life of infinite miracles. I will write that in the comments after the video is done, but I just want to read what the book says about greeting wellness. So when wellness is welcomed, you are taking responsibility for the upkeep and preservation of your body as your sacred vessel of spiritual growth. In balance, you may come to see how endless wanting only creates more things to want. When operating from patterns of instant gratification, which our society is crazy full of today, you are likely chasing after happiness that is out of reach as your body remains out of balance. This is resolved by learning to care for the body physically, emotionally, energetically, and spiritually. Oh, and nutritionally, not spiritually, assumed. I am NASA myself. As your life comes into greater balance, you will likely sense true happiness, not as the end result of a specific outcome, but as the energy created by taking the time to truly care for yourself. This mantra is ideal for cultivating self-love, improving self-worth, and letting go of compulsive tendencies. So, greeting wellness. Balance is the key to a life of infinite miracles.
I love that. And I love mantras. What is a mantra? Let's cover that right now. It's a chant or like a motivating phrase that you can repeat to yourself over and over again. Think affirmation, okay? Mantras can also be done in Sanskrit, which is a very ancient text. And you often see people work with mala beads. I wish I had mine right with me, but I don't.
I don't have mine right with me either.
It's kind of like a rosary, okay? You can even use a rosary if you want, but a mala has 108 beads.
I do. Look at that.
Oh, look at that. Okay, so that's a mala. And like they come in all different stones, different woods. You usually have a tassel or some kind of talisman at the end there as well.
You move around as you touch each stone, as you pray or say your mantra. Until you get around. And yes,
that is such a calming practice. So hopefully I remember, because I will remember because I watch these back. So when I'm watching it back, I will put in some Sanskrit mantras for you guys to work with. If you have a mala or a rosary and you'd like to work with that, work with the rosary as if you would traditionally work with it. Saying I'm such a bad Catholic. I do not know what each bead represents something, but I do my own thing, right? So that is how you work with a mantra. You can also just repeat it to yourself. You do not need the tools, the physical tools. We all know that you are the biggest spiritual and greatest spiritual tool you have. So just intention and repetition, it will ground you.
You can deeply even post it somewhere in your house where you're at. Like if you have an office at home, sticky note it to your computer screen for the whole day so you see it consistently.
Yeah.
Or, somewhere where you pass by every day, like on your fridge. We go to our fridge, I don't even know how many times a day. So put a mantra a day on the fridge or a mantra of the month or something. But keeping it where you can see it, because if you see it, hopefully, you're going to read it every time. And then you're going to be repeating it. So that's a good thing too, especially if you don't have a rosary or a mala. Then, you can just do it that way. It doesn't, like I said, a lot of these tools we mentioned are not tools you actually absolutely need. Like if you want to go and buy one, then go buy one. Like we're not going to stop you. But know that it's not necessary to buy or purchase any of these tools we talk about. As Jess said, you are the greatest spiritual tool that you need.
So let's cover how to ground and shield. Like, how are we going to pull that out during the day? At the beginning of our day. How are we doing that? Did you want to do this?
Sure. So one of the ways that I like to ground, and not everybody can do this, I get it, but it's the simplest way that I know, and that is legit just going out and standing in the grass in your bare feet somewhere.
Yes.
Yes. Even if it's just,
even if you're on a hardwood floor, it's possible.
Yeah, because you can imagine, everybody knows, I used to anyway, when I was a kid, run around in my backyard with my shoes off, just in my bare feet. So I know how that feels. I know how cool grass feels, how the blades feel under your feet, if they're soft, you know those feelings. So even if you're standing on a hardwood floor or cement or asphalt or whatever, you can imagine that, you can picture that in your head. So even if you're just, having a struggle, you can just close your eyes and take a deep breath in, release it, and just picture your feet in the grass and calm yourself down, bring yourself back down and ground again. And I find if you have a grounding practice, so that one's super simple. There's another meditation where you meditate and you envision roots growing from your feet down into the ground. And then, there's other steps to it, but grounding by connecting those roots to Mother Earth. I won't go into all the other details and pieces of that meditation because it's on for a little bit later, but just picturing those roots connecting you and grounding you to Mother Earth. If you do that in the morning, it's a lot easier throughout the day to come back to that space. So if you do it when you first get up, before you do anything else, before you allow your mind to start racing, because I know I'll yell, I used to wake up and be like, what do I have to do today? I gotta do this. I've now started grounding before I even jump out of bed, before I try and let if my brain starts to wander, I'm like, nope, stop it, gotta ground first. And it just makes it easier if you create that connection right away. Makes it easier to come back to that grounded, feeling centered throughout the rest of the day as the day progresses if you start to get stressed. So those are my little ways of doing it. What about you, Jess?
So grounding, I do a lot of breathing exercises. That's how I kind of get in the zone. I call it alpha breathing. So it's like through your nose and out through your mouth, and I just repeat that as long as I need while visualizing me connecting to my Earth Star chakra and down. Now, I'm going to add a little bit of to this, but there's also the Soul Star chakra, which is above the crown chakra. So if you're a star seed, right, like me, if you resonate with that term, you like to ground both up and down. So it anchors you in both directions. So I find the like furthest star that I can travel out to, and I anchor to that. And I anchor to Gaia. It might feel like at first you're stretching yourself out, but like an elastic, it all comes back together. It's like, whoa, okay. So that's how I do it, just adding on the exact same way you do it, just kind of adding on to that. When it comes to shielding, I used to heavily shield. I didn't think it served me much, so I didn't stop, but I just was kind of a little more liberal with my discernment shield. In my notes here, you can even visualize your clothing being your shield, you know, giving your clothing that loving intention, like, thank you for protecting my body, you know, thank you for being a part of my aura. Let's integrate that today, and
that was how I started with my shielding. That was how I learned how to shield. So I think the reason the clothing example is in there is because that's how, when I first started, I was like, I don't know how to freaking shield. Like, people tell me I gotta like bring up this wall in front of me or picture light around me, and I was like, that is way too complicated. I don't get it. So when I started shielding, I literally pretended that my clothes were a shield. So every morning when I get up, as I pulled on my pants, I was pulling on my shield to help me discern between the different energies, my armor. As I pulled on my shirt, I was covering everything up. As I did my hair, because that's, you know, that's protecting the top of my head. If I brushed my hair out, I was protecting my head. I mean, you can even
brushing your hair is such a sacred act. Like, these little things that we don't even think about. Like, it just blows my mind how much magic is in absolutely everything that we do.
Yeah.
Some call it science, some call it just pleasure, but boo, it's all magic. It's all magic. I love that. I can just see you and feeling how like cleansing and protective that is. I'm just sorry.
Kind of like brushes out the cobwebs of the night before.
Yeah.
Too, right? So I mean, don't worry. We do actually have an episode getting you guys back into understanding, like, these are the things you do daily that are actually part of your practice, as long as you're doing them with awareness. So we got that coming up for you too. So don't worry, we got you covered. But yeah, that was my simple way of shielding. Now it just happens. Like, I don't completely think about it every morning anymore. It's just my clothes are on, my shield is on, my shield is up. Another way is the light. The cone, the egg, the, you know, whatever color light you want, which Jess is going to get into for you guys in a little bit. And I've even heard of people just asking the archangels, their guardian angels, whoever, to protect them so that they don't have to worry about it. You guys got me. I'm cool. Like, protect me from what is not needed. Allow me to discern what is, and allow me to see where I need to help others. And the archangels will protect you the way that they do it. So,
on that note, I'm going to go over the cancel, clear, delete again, because this is a perfect way to invoke a shield with an archangel, Michael, coming through to kind of, it's kind of all of the steps in one. It's cleansing, it's clearing, it's grounding, and it's protecting. So let's throw those shields up, guys. Let's do it. Okay, so call your energy into present moment. Find your center. Take a breath. Okay. I hereby state that all oaths, promises, and contracts made by my soul, past, present, future, are canceled, null, and void. I cut cords with Michael's sword to all and any and every attachment, past, present, future. I ask that my oversoul cancel, clear, and delete all oaths, promises, and contracts, being in accordance to cosmic law. I take back my power from every direction and replace it with love, and send it to Gaia to be transmuted into unconditional love and productive energy. I am now in equal alignment. I give and receive naturally with ease and grace. I call on health, wealth, and unconditional love for the benefit of all. Amen. Aho. And so it is.
Amen. Aho. So it is.
So there's a couple things that I wanted to point out in this video that I did not point out in the last one. So words are very important. They are, when you speak, you are spelling. That's why they call it a spelling test. Okay. So it's a spell. Everything you say is a spell, and everything you do, everything you say, every intention, it leads to an oath, a promise, or a contract, whether it be in this life, earlier on in this life, or lifetimes past. So when we're bringing up these oaths, promises, and contracts, we're bringing up all possible avenues of attachment. We're going beyond our higher self to the soul to say, listen, let's go back through all of your experiences and cancel all of it, past, present, and future. So this is covering all different timelines and dimensions and whatever way you want to go. We can get into that too another day. Another one, Michael's sword. So in this instance, I often think of blue light because we mentioned before that blue is associated with Michael. Now, when Michael's sword comes in and cuts the attachments out, that is a very abrupt thing. So it wouldn't surprise me if you felt like a, whew, or whoever you were cutting that attachment to, whatever person, place, or thing, also felt that, like, ooh, that. Oversoul, again, talking about canceling all that in accordance to cosmic law. So there's a law for everything. Nature has its laws. There's just things that we cannot change or manipulate, and this is what that's talking about. It's beyond the law of attraction, but also including the law of attraction. It's all of these laws. That's another episode. This is the one I really wanted to emphasize, was I take back my power from every direction, replace it with love, and send it to Gaia to be transmuted into unconditional love and productive energy. What the hell does that mean? Well, so when you take back your power, as above, so below, right? So when you take something back, you have to replace it with something.
Yeah.
You are, with intention, replacing it with love. No matter what that energy was you took back. If you just yelled at someone and you're like, whoa, that was mine, not yours. Whew, here you go. Here's some love instead. You know, that's kind of a tangible example. So that's what you're doing there. Again, that's one of those things that just has to happen. If you don't take that initiative to replace it with something, it'll get filled with whatever is available. That's how addictions start. See guys, how it all layers on top. Okay, and then we're sending it to Gaia to be transmuted. Okay, so what happens when you're grounding? You are connecting, you are communing with Gaia. You are exchanging that energy. You are giving that which you cannot work with to her for a purpose, right? What's an example that I want to use here? I don't have a good scientific example to use, but transmutation. It's simply just taking it from one state to another, and Gaia is really good at that. If you want to work with another goddess to transmute, yeah, okay, I love that.
The leaves come off the trees in the fall. You're supposed to leave them on your ground, because what happens over the winter is they break down and they change and they transmute into the good nutrients that the spring is going to use to start blooming and get everything running again in the earth when spring comes.
Yes, Karen, that. I was like, wait.
I'm like, she's over there. Oh, yes. No, she's on that side.
Yes, exactly that. So I just really wanted to get into that because you can say these words, but knowing what it means makes it work tenfold, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I am now in equal alignment. I give and receive naturally and with ease and grace. So we want to constantly be in this energy, right? We don't want to be holding on to stuff because that's attachment, that's Four of Pentacles, that's boredom, that's no growth. That's not good, okay? So you don't want to hold things, you want to be like this. When the health, wealth, and unconditional love comes in, you want to be able to receive it, integrate it, and give it back out.
Yeah.
Make it a dance.
It's always
so
about the
that.
balancing. Back and forth, the give and take. So it's a key thing to remember is that you don't always want to just be giving, because then your cup will empty and you will not eventually have anything to give anymore. You don't always want to be receiving, because then everything is going to be out of balance. Things will start to happen around you. If all you do is receive and you never give back, you will start to see it manifest by friends falling away or people distancing themselves from you because all you're doing is receiving. You're not giving them anything. It's a balance. It's a give and take. And so it just happens. You will see it manifest physically. When you are receiving too much, people will pull away. When you are giving too much, you will want to pull away.
And to get more specific on that, depending on what, because we're going to go through a grounding mantra that has to do with the chakras. So depending on what chakra is out of balance, you will crave and need different things. Mm-hmm. You'll be on the receiving end of different things. So, for example, your root chakra, that has to do with safety and support. So I know for me personally, I've always had a hard time staying in one place because I wasn't ever sure that I couldn't create a home there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was always running away. So that's something that's very common when there's an unbalance or blockage in the root chakra, just as an example. Or in your heart chakra, you might have difficulty in relationships or receiving compliments or receiving good things because you just genuinely aren't open to it. Unconsciously most of the time.
Yeah.
But and then solar plexus dealing with confidence, right? So it's just it depends on what's going on here too.
Yeah. This is how we're going to get you to come. I was just going to say, this is how we're going to get you to come back, because all of that stuff is going to be spoken about in more detail in future episodes. Yeah. So we'll mention little things here and there, because everything, to be honest, everything that we're going to talk about is so interconnected that
yes.
things that we're trying to keep in other episodes are going to come up in these episodes as we get to them before we even talk on that episode, because everything is so interconnected. But as much as Jess and myself want to just be like, here's everything that you have, we would like to keep these clips as short as we can and continue to give you more and more episodes and keep you coming back and learning in steps so that you're not overwhelmed. So we will always try to rein ourselves in and remind ourselves that that's coming up in a future episode. There's some examples. That's coming up in a future episode. So please come back. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels and make sure that you're able to see these. I mean, they're on Facebook Live, but if you don't catch them on Facebook Live, you can catch them on the replay, or you can catch them on our YouTube channel.
Just looking at the comments right now, I just want to say hi to everybody because they didn't realize I could see the comments and I figured it out. I just want to say hi. Shout out to Bonnie and Jamie and Vanessa and Crystal and Kim and Wendy.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay, so confirmed. Lady. It's 108. And yes, Vanessa, you can totally make a mala. Yes. We have a friend who makes them too. If you want to invest in something really worthwhile, Bala's Malas. I'm not kidding you. It's called Bala's Malas. She was born to do this. Lam. I love that. There's Om. There's so many. I'm going to put them in the comments after. I'm going to get a really good list for you guys to reference. And thank you, Wendy. Love you long time. Oh, God. Sorry, I didn't know I could see the comments, but now I...
Oh, yeah. For some reason, the person coming into StreamYard always has the private messages up first, so you always have to click on the live comment.
Yeah. Okay, let's run.
To actually have people on. People are actually coming in and watching and learning. It's so great to see. I mean, I'm not discounting anybody who watches afterwards. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate
Shout out to y'all
just as much, but it's nice to see people actually physically here. It's really, really cool.
Yeah. So for you babes that are watching, and for the people that will catch this later, we're going to run through a grounding mantra. So this is something you can pull out of your hat whenever. And it's based on the chakras. So this is a little bit of Reiki and chakra balancing as well. So feel free. I'm going to back up a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. So feel free to use your hands, your tool, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to start at the root chakra, which is red. Then we're going to work our way up. I'll tell you the colors first so you kind of have a reference. It's the rainbow. So we've all learned the rainbow. So it's red for, right? Red for, I'm not doing this in bilingual, so stick with me. Red for root chakra, orange for sacral. Then right above that, these three bottom ones are kind of close. So right here at your rib cage, I guess, is your solar plexus, and that's yellow. And your heart chakra is green or pink, whatever floats your boat. And then light blue or royal blue for your throat. And then your third eye is indigo or purple, whatever, right? And then your crown chakra can be purple, it can be pink, it can be white. So we're just going to keep it with the 7, just to start, okay? Yeah. Calling your energy into present time. And it's very simple. You're just going to put your hands on your root chakra. That serves you. You can even put your hand on your tailbone. You say, I am safe. I am safe. Moving up to the sacral chakra. I am creative. I'm even going to throw in, I am sexy. Right? Words are powerful. Okay, solar plexus, yellow. I am strong. I am brave. I am confident. Moving up to that heart chakra, whatever color you chose. I am loved. I am so loved beyond measure. Throat chakra, blue of any color. I am expressive. I speak my truth. And then third eye, that indigo or purple. I am awake. I am aware. I am open. And then crown chakra, purple or white or pink. I am divine. I am connected to source. I am the god, goddess, creatrix of my own experience. And that's it. You've run through, and I hope you feel more balanced, because I sure as hell do. Oh, and another thing you can do with that as well is, I don't know if I've mentioned this already, but you can shake. You can shake your hands in front of each one of these chakras. Kind of shake it away. So I will definitely put the basic part of that, because I added some. I will put that with the colored hearts in the comments after, okay?
Beautiful. I love that one. It was good.
Me too.
Nice and simple. It doesn't, and that's the thing, like, some people, like, they'll go and they'll start reading about these practices and the earth-based religions, and they'll see all these big, intricate rituals, meditations, all these things that these people are putting out there. And, you know, I'm not saying anything against them. They're great. They're amazing. I applaud them for doing it as long as they have and getting as in depth as they have been able to do. But sometimes what happens, I find, is people will go along their spiritual path and they'll get so far and they'll create these amazing, in depth things. But then all the newbies get left behind. All the people that are just beginning get left behind because all these other people have surpassed that and they're so far in it. Nobody takes the time to go back and renew the basics and do the basics so that something is out there for the people that are just coming into this. That, you know, if they sat through a 40-minute meditation that is crazy in depth and trying to get you to visualize and see all these colors and all this stuff, you can get overwhelmed. And then you probably won't want to continue practicing because you're like, I can't do that. So know that we are creating a space for you to come. We are creating a wonderful space where there is simplicity, there is ease, and there is comfort for you guys to begin your practice so that you guys don't get overwhelmed, so that we can hopefully encourage you to continue on. Know that, I mean, I can speak for myself, I can't speak for Jess, but like, know that the first time I did most of this stuff, I didn't feel anything sometimes. I didn't know, I didn't get it, it didn't work.
I have a great story.
Know that it doesn't have to happen the first time for you to continue on. Sometimes it won't. Sometimes you won't connect. Sometimes it won't happen. Keep pushing forward. That is how you learn. That is how you get good at something, and that is how you continue with your practice.
If I were to give newbies advice that are a little more green on their path, instead of being overwhelmed in those moments that Karen described, if you can, give yourself permission to be a little selfish in that moment, because you are in the middle of like big magic when that stuff's happening, right? And even if you can't comprehend what's going on, if you're not receiving any messages, you're still in the safe container. So just receive.
Yeah.
Just receive that healing energy. Just sit there, just breathe, just find your grounding, if anything, in that, okay? And as a bit of validation and reassurance, oh God, okay, for like 10 years, I was trying to get a name, just a name of my guides. One of them, at least, none of them had given me a name. None. But then I realized after 10 years that they were giving me their names. I wanted them to tell me, right? I wanted to hear it as a voice. I wasn't paying attention to how they were actually giving me the information. So it's not just we're going to hear it, we're going to see it in our everyday lives. So I'll give you an example. This one name, I have a lion spirit guide who is very much like Aslan from the Chronicles of Narnia. Okay, like exactly the same type of archetype there. And for the longest time, I kept seeing Llewellyn, you know, the publishing company, Llewellyn. But before I even put two and two together that was a publishing company, a spiritual publishing company, I just kept seeing it everywhere in different ways. And I was like, I can't even say this word. What the hell does this mean? It's coming up everywhere. And then finally, in a meditation, it was like, I was like a crazy conspiracy theorist with like all my theories mapped on the wall with like string going to them. That's what was happening in my head. It was like, boom. And I was like, oh my God, my lion's name is Llewellyn. So then by chance, I was doing a spirit guide meditation and I called him. I was like, Llewellyn, please come forward. Boom, the lion showed up. And I was like, y'all, that took me 10 years. So don't get used to this instant gratification that we're accustomed to in this 3D reality, because no, it doesn't work that way. And another thing is that names are such a human thing. Labeling anything is such a human thing. And on the other realm, that's not the most important thing to them, like it is to us. Right? To us, we attach ourselves to our name, where we come from, stuff like that. They don't at all. So when you're busy worrying about that human stuff, they're like, would you just ask me a question that has to do with your healing instead?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And sometimes they're not going to give you a message. They're just going to give you healing. They're just going to send you energy and help you heal.
Or protection, or
like they're not always going. Don't expect that every time you go into some type of spiritual practice that you're going to get an answer, that you're going to get an actual message come through. It's like they say in the Christian church, like just because you pray to God doesn't mean that he's going to answer you right away. Your answer could come 5 weeks down the road. Your answer could come in an hour. You could have gotten it and not understood, right? Because
it doesn't come the way you're necessarily asking for it, right? God works in mysterious ways.
Yeah, I feel like if you put
just be prepared for that.
on how you're expecting it to come, that's why it comes in those unexpected ways. Because they're like, oh, you're looking for this, or this. All right, well, I'm going to do this one over here because you didn't think about it, and I don't like being like. Spirit likes to be creative and in flow and just kind of like do what is right in the moment. It doesn't like to be told, this is what I want, this is how I expect it to happen, please do it that way for me. Spirit's going to be like, okay, we're going to do it over that way. And they're going to laugh at you because they don't like to be told exactly how to do things. They are in a higher realm, a higher vibration than we are. They don't define everything. They don't set expectations. Things just happen. Things just are. And that's the thing, the hump that we have to get over. And doing that grounding and connecting, grounding down and grounding up, will help you understand that more, I believe, because you will remain connected. And if you're connected to that energy, then you can feel and start to understand that energy.
I think also like being like allowing yourself to not understand is probably one of the most beautiful things you can do as a human being in your spiritual experience, because you're taking those expectations, crumbling them up, and just throwing them away. Just let it be. Let it be. Let it be what it's going to be, and let it evolve. Now, this doesn't take your responsibility out of anything, but it's just allowing yourself to be a little bit more gentle with the process.
Yeah.
Now, Karen mentioned that they don't like being told how to do their job, but you do need to tell them sometimes to do their job. So, like with angels, you have to tell them when it's time for them to directly interfere. So just know that.
They don't just come in and be
that's what praying is.
You like we're just gonna get rid of that. Like they don't do that. They wait until you are ready. So when I say like don't tell them how to do it, I'm talking about this is how I want you to show me this. This is how I want you to, getting specific sometimes is helpful. Like, anytime I need to know something, or anytime you want to reach out to me, or you think that maybe I need some healing, or you have a message for me, send me an owl. Then, that is something you can ask them to do, because it's not telling them you need to do this at this time with this specific thing and do it this way. And it's giving them like, here is how you can tell me that you have a message for me. Send me an owl. And then
ever since I got clear with my guides about sending me messages through music, they've been very consistent through that. It's not always music I know, but it's music regardless, right? So you can take back your control, and then you can give them a little bit more space to do what it is for you. The universe is never working against you. You've either made a promise, oath, or contract that is invoked what it's doing, or you have unseen forces working with you, not against you. So let's invoke the columns of light before we do our little meditation.
You're on mute.
Again, calling your energy into present moment. I thought I clicked it. It's weird.
Okay.
Okay. So this is just a a quick little prayer or invocation, very similar to the first two that we did as far as energy. But this encompasses protection, clearing, and shielding and grounding. So it's kind of everything all in one, and gratitude. So I'll put this one in the comments for you guys as well. Okay. I call upon my I am presence, my higher self in the 6th dimension, and my team in spirit of the highest light and resonance to immediately erect columns of light around me. Then cut all cords and remove all attachments that I may have unknowingly or knowingly made, that I have made knowingly and unknowingly, and to transmute them into a neutralized substance and send back to repurpose them into the great central sun. Then encase me in a spiral of golden, white, pink light that only the infinite prime source creator, God's love, can penetrate, and to do this every second of every minute, of every hour, of every day, of every week, of every month, of every year, throughout eternity. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it, and so it is.
Beautiful.
I'm not entirely sure where I got that one from.
Who knows?
But I remember seeing it. Yeah, some of them I've channeled, some of like the cancel, clear, delete was very much like direct. I believe the grounding mantra I put together from different things I saw on the chakras, but this one I have zero recollection of where it came from. So, yeah.
Oh well.
So now that we're like super cleansed, super protected, super grounded,
the meditation, and we will end for the day and for this episode.
Okay, so this is just going to be a super simple, because I'm just going to be doing it off the top of my head. It's going to be super simple and probably really quick. You'll be able to find visualizations like this all over YouTube. Just type in grounding guided meditation and you'll be good to go. You'll find different times and yeah. But I think all of the ones that we've done already have been pretty good examples of how to ground and protect on the fly. So I'm just going to kind of set this one up as more of a formal meditation. So if you guys just want to get comfortable, I would do that right now. And then just calling your energy into the present moment, and then just start breathing. Start just noticing your breath, and don't do anything to change it yet. Just being here in the moment. Do that last bit of housekeeping. Just, you don't need to close off your thoughts, but definitely start to quiet them a little bit. Don't hang on to anything that's coming. Just continue following your breath. And on the next in-breath, just start to take a little bit more control of it and breathe in deeply. And on your out-breath, just making sure you're releasing everything that's left. Okay. So before we ground and anchor into Gaia, we are going to turn our attention to our crown chakra and just noticing what might be going on up there, what we're feeling. Are we lightheaded? Are we a little dizzy? Are we just cool as a cucumber? That could be an option too. Now I want you to stretch your imagination up to about a foot above your head and envision a star. This is your soul star chakra. Okay. we're going to send that star as far out into space as we possibly can. This star is going to meet another star, and they're going to collide and merge together as one. A beautiful collision of color and light. And feel yourself anchored to that star, that new star that you created. This is your star. Now let that light and those colors wash down over your crown, your third eye, your throat. Your heart chakra is just full of light and rainbow colors. Keep sending it down to your solar plexus. You might feel a tickle in your tummy. It's activating your solar plexus, and down. Let these colors wash over your sacral chakra until they meet your root. Your whole body is full of rainbow light, or any color that you're working with. Now I want you to take your attention to about a foot below your feet. Your feet don't have to be on the ground, but just a foot below you. That's your Earth Star chakra. It's probably looking a little bit like molten lava. And if not, that's okay too. So we're going to take this fiery ball of molten lava or bright white light, whatever it is you're envisioning here. And we're going to send that down as deep and as far as we can into Gaia. Okay? We're envisioning the dirt and the earth, pushing down even further beyond that to the bedrock, melting right through the bedrock. We're meeting more molten lava here. And push it down even further till it meets that crystalline core of the earth. We are now rooting, and we are now one with Gaia. As we work our way up past the molten lava, the bedrock, the dirt, the earth, you see a seedling start to grow from that space. It was like your Earth Star chakra was a seed, okay? And from that seed, we're growing a tree. Now, hopefully you're standing right above where this tree is starting to grow. And you can feel your physical feet rooting into the ground near this tree, this little sapling. I want you to send all of your love to this seedling, to this tree. This tree represents you here on this plane, in this dimension, in this 3D. This is your soul tree. This is your tree of life. This is your direct connection to nature and Gaia, and magic. And as you watch this tree grow, you watch the branches and the leaves wrap around you. It encompasses you. You are part of the tree trunk. You are safe. You are held within this tree. And you feel Gaia's health, wealth, and unconditional love running through you. You stand so tall and so strong. Even when the wind blows and you wave and dance in it, you are still so strong. You're so rooted into the ground. And as you start to come back to this present moment, you're still one with the tree. It gives you strength. It roots you into this space and time. But you are not bound to this space and time. You have free will here. You are able to freely walk away from your tree and freely enter back into it whenever you wish. You are grounded here. You are safe. start bringing your attention back to the breath. And when you're ready, start bringing your attention back to the room you're in. You don't need to open your eyes yet if you chose to close them. Start moving your fingers and your toes and your neck, maybe. Shrug your shoulders. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. You probably feel super calm and maybe a little drowsy. That's okay. Give yourself time and space and time.
Beautiful.
I think that's the first time I've ever calmly ran through a meditation off the top of my skullet, and it felt good. Felt great. I was holding space here for y'all, but like, pardon?
Since later you need to go through this recording and like write that down.
Okay.
Record it.
Awesome. I hope that served you guys. It was just a simple visualization. You can do that anytime. But I do recommend you go out of your way to give yourself a calming space to ground each day. I would definitely make that a practice, especially if you feel like your energy is so scattered at all times, everywhere. This will help. Was this our longest episode? We're almost at an hour.
So far, yep. Other than maybe video, but that's how it goes. That is how it goes. We want to thank everybody for coming today. We truly appreciate you. We appreciate anybody else who does watch this after the fact, sees it on YouTube. We appreciate
#replay.
Yes, we appreciate you all, and we hope that you get something out of these videos, and I hope that you continue to come back and continue to learn and grow with us as we move through this series, and continue to throw stuff at you guys and bring you into a space of love and comfort and spiritual practice and balance. So that is it for today. We will see you guys next week as we talk about Letha, because that is on June 21st, the summer solstice. So this will be your first introduction to the Wheel of the Year. And we are going to give you some crafts. We are going to give you a ritual. And
that's probably going to be a long one.
Yes, and a bunch of information for you about the actual celebration, what summer solstice is. So please come back again and join us next week. Once Jess and I agree on a time, we will put that out so you guys have hopefully prior knowledge of when it's going to be. And we can't wait to teach you guys about that so that on June 21st, you guys can actually do these practices and these rituals to celebrate summer solstice if you would like. We will see you next week. Bye for now.
See ya!